Very good evening to you. Welcome to the Friday edition of the show. Promises to be exciting. As always, I'm Yemi Adebayo. There's a lot to talk about, always a lot to talk about in the amazing, fast-paced world of sports. And tonight will not be any different. Of course, we'll talk about the English Premier League, a match currently going on right now as we speak, Leicester City and Southampton. And of course, the scoreline is what is a big surprise to a lot of people. We'll talk about that later on the show. We'll talk about what to expect, this weekend, talking about the English Premier League. We'll also look at what is happening here at home. The countdown to the Channel's track and field continues. We'll let you in on the latest information concerning that big event. We'll do that for you today. We'll talk about the basketball NBBF President's Cup, the 5 fixtures. We'll talk about it as well. We'll also talk about our teams, talking about Aimba and Rangers on the continent in the CAF Confederation Cup. We'll talk about that as well. We'll also look at the chances of the Golden Eaglets at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. As a matter of fact, the tournament starts tomorrow. Nigeria is the most successful team in this competition. We've won it 5 times. So we'll look at the chances of Manu Gaba and his boys of, doing this. We'll take you across Europe, take a look at the big leagues and see what is happening. We also have a special guest in the house. He'll be talking to us about grassroots football. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. Just sit back, relax. You will meet him very soon. He has a lot to say. He's an FA chairman. I'll just stop at that. He's an FA chairman in one of the states in Nigeria, but I'll just stop at that. But just sit back. You will meet him shortly. So let's bring you into all that we're doing. We always want you to be a part of what we do here. So just in case you're joining us for the first time and you're wondering how you can do just that, this is how you can do it. You can send us a mail, sportstonight@channelstv.com. You can get across to us on Facebook, Channels iPhone Sports. That's how you can give your opinion on the issues raised on this program. You can also get across to us on Twitter @channels_sports. We ensure that we always keep the conversation going. Even when we leave the studios, the conversation is always on, and it's very interesting to get your feedback, get your views on all the issues that we've been talking about. And perhaps there's something you feel that is not getting much attention in the world of sports, especially here in Nigeria. Oblige us. We'd like to know what that very thing is, and we'll do our best to extra talk about it and let people know what's going on. That's our mission right here on Sports Tonight. Okay, so let's move on and tell you some of the other things that you need to know. You can read up on all our top stories. You have them on www.channelstv.com. You can view those top stories on youtube.com/channelsweb. You take it a step further, you go to m.channelstv.com for your iPad and your iPhone. You follow the prompt, you will be able to watch us live. And of course, you can download the Channels TV app for your Android and the iOS, and you will, from their respective stores, you will be able to carry Channels Television with you everywhere you go. And that just ensures that you're not missing out on everything that is available on your award-winning Channels Television. There's sports, there's news, there's politics, a whole lot for you to choose from. And this just ensures that you're not missing out on anything, anywhere you are across the globe. Okay, right. So let's talk about the second edition of the Channels Track and Field. The days are moving very fast, and before you know it, everything is going to start. Let's tell you what you need to know about the Channels Track and Field, the second edition of that prestigious tournament. Let's start by telling you the dates you need to keep in your diary, the dates you need to remember. Let's do that for you on the show so that you can know. We'll also let you see the schools that will be participating, and of course, the events that these schools, all of them, will be participating in. Okay, so well, maybe we'll start with the list of the schools, but we'll get back to the dates you need to remember. The list of the schools you have: Government Senior College, Agege. All of the schools are in District 1 in Lagos. You have Anwari Islam, Diamond Heights, Lagos African Church Grammar School, Unity Senior College, State Senior High School, Oyewole in Agege. These are the schools in District 1. Then, of course, we also look at District 2. There you have it, Oreyo Senior Grammar School in Ikorodu, Bagada Senior High School. You have CMS Grammar School in Bariga. You have Baptist Academy from Abanikoro. You have Igbobi College, CMS Grammar School, Bariga, and you have Ikorodu High. These schools in District 2. You have Temple, Holy Savior, Babinti Macaulay Secondary School, Tindip School. You have Homac Private College in Ikorodu. You have Baptist Girls Academy as well, all in the mix. They will be participating in this one. District 3 in Lagos, you have White Sand College, Atlantic Hall, St. Gregory's, Antioch, King's College, Methodist Boys, Green Springs, and Holy Child. All of these schools in District 3. Okay, we move on, go to District 4, and the schools that will be in the second edition of the prestigious China's Track and Field. You have Iponri Estates Senior Grammar School, Stadium Senior Grammar School, Surulere Girls, Baja Boys Senior Grammar School, St. Finbar's, Queen's College, Methodist Girls Senior Secondary School, and ISL College in Unilag. All of these schools in District 4. District 5, we have Lagos State Senior Model College. You have Badagry Senior Grammar School. You also have Amuo Senior Grammar School. You have Tinkan Senior Secondary School, Federal Government College, Ijaniki, Navy College, St. Jude Private Secondary School from Festac. Okay, so you have in District 6, Agidingi Senior Grammar School, Ilupeju Senior Secondary School. You have Oshodi Senior High School, Chrisland High School from Okwebi, AUD College, Isolo, Oregon High School, Ikeja Senior High. All of these schools are from District 6. You have Command Day Secondary School from Maryland. You have Nigeria Air Force Secondary School, PWD, in Ikeja, Police Secondary School, Apostolic, Babs, Fafunwa, and Anthony Village. All of these schools are in the mix. Government College, Eric Moore. You also have National College, Gagada. All of these schools, you can look forward to them participating in the second edition of the Channels Track and Field, where a lot of stars will be discovered. And trust us to let you know what's going on. We'll give you coverage of this event. And of course, you see how far we're trying our best to ensure that we discover the next athletic stars and ensure that the production line is intact. Okay, so that's it. That's the bit we have for tonight on the Channels Track and Field. All right, it's time to let the cat out of the bag. Let me introduce my guest tonight on the show, someone who has a lot to say about grassroots football on the domestic scene. He told me he's been involved in football for the past 23 years. So what a time to have him on the show. We have the pleasure of having with us tonight Bayo Olanlege, the Ekiti State FA chairman. Bayo, it's good to have you join us on the show tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let me start by talking about something that interests me. There was a school that came from Ekiti for the Channels International Kids Cup. Yeah. And their name is Emmanuel Primary School. Yes. I want to ask how they're doing, the young boys, how are they doing since that tournament?
Yeah, they are doing great. Of course, you know that apart from, you know, they came third at the Channels Kids International Tournament. And of course, you remember Shea Akinwumi Charity Cup, where they came first. It's the same set of boys came, and they, you know, the good part of it is the exposure you gave them. They went on to make it big in the form of winning the gold medal at the Shea Akinwumi Charity Cup. And two of them actually got a scholarship, which they are enjoying right now. The goalkeeper then was the best goalkeeper at the Channels Kids Cup, and was also, you know, the best goalkeeper at the Shea Akinwumi Charity. And he got 150,000 naira. That was enough to send him throughout the secondary school. You know, those guys are now in secondary school, JSS1, JSS2, and they are doing great. All
right, it's good to hear that they're progressing very fine. Maybe we can obtain a commitment that you look into their growth and ensure that they're able to mix football and sports.
Yes, you know, there is, immediately they got back to Ekiti, there is a young academy in Ekiti State that picked all of them up at once. And also the Ekiti Sports Council gave the support by allowing that academy to now train every week at the state stadium. You know, now what I'm trying to say now is that all of these kids still trains together as one. You know, it's not good enough for you guys to give them such an exposure you have given them and for it
we
to
let it
end there.
waste.
You know, I can assure you that the highest goal scorer at that tournament, you know, we should just be watching out for the guy, you know, as it comes up.
All right, that's very good. That dovetails into the thing I'm about to ask you. I know you're just 5 months into your administration as the Ekiti Football FA chairman. But what are the plans for? It's good to hear what you're doing with these young lads. But what are the plans for youth development in the state with regards to football? What are some of the plans that you have to develop the game?
You agree with me that it's really very easy to, you know, say grassroots football. But exactly what is grassroots football? You know, we keep asking corporate organizations to come and support sports. It's like you asking people to come and buy, you know, some things you are selling. And unfortunately, you don't have things you're selling. So what are they coming to buy? You know, you like, please, I sell akara. I'm one of the best persons that can make akara. But you don't have akara. You're only asking them come and buy akara. You have to make sure you have a very good product. And that is what we are doing at the Ekiti Football Association. The first thing we did is we have to identify products. What are the things that people need to come and buy into? So we start with the one that is general, and that is every state has the FA Cup that goes to, you know, you win and you go to play the ITO Cup. So the first thing is how can we try and work on the Ekiti Football Association FA Cup? And, you know, that's the number one thing. And by God's grace, we were able to move from a tournament that does not have the normal Rasmasas at the end of, at the final. You know, at the end of the final we held this year, there was there was medals, there was trophies, and there was Rasmas that are supposed to be associated with the FA Cup. You know, that is one product that we've been able to work on. We believe we can improve, you know, on that. And the second one we came up is the one that we just concluded recently, and that is the Ekiti State League. In more than 19 years, there has not been the State League. And this time, we're able to have it started. We even, at the first time, we were able to get a title sponsor for it. And we have 60 teams. And across the states. And just last week, a winner emerged. And, the third one now is for the under, because, you know, our plan is, if we have the MPFL, which unfortunately in Ekiti we don't have a premiership team, but we have a national league team that the state government is financing. What if you are 19, 20, 21, but you are still not good enough to play in, you know, at that cadre?
At that level. And
there's still the nationwide league teams too that we have about 4 in Ekiti. But you are still not good enough to play at that level too. So what happens to you? Are we just going to be playing around? You know, so what we did is, okay, let us create the state league for those ones. When you are above, you know, 16, 17, and of that age, within the 60 teams, if you are really a football person, you must be able to play in at least one of the 60 teams, for God's sake. So we have created it, but then there are also some other kids. They are, you know, about 15, and they are not matured enough to compete with those ones that are 20, 19. So we felt like we are not going to, we can't isolate them. So we create the state league for the under 15, a competition, and we got lucky because of, you know, there's something you all should know is happening in Ekiti right now. You know, the governor, you know, His Excellency Dr. John Kayode makes the environment so conducive that any good idea you have, he supports. So immediately we take this idea to him. He gave us an approval to use his name so instead of us having a state under 15, we now have JKF Youth Cup for both under 15 male and female. So that is the third product. You know, of course, the fourth product is the under 13 that will be launching. But right now, the one we are working on is just the under 15.
Yeah, you've said a lot, but I'm curious because here in Lagos and among those of us that are interested in knowing what's happening in the nooks and crannies, what we hear about Ekiti is that, look, there's low turnout, there's some sort of apathy, the clubs, the low level of participation. But you've painted a picture that it's not quite the same as what we hear. So, I mean, which is wrong?
What we need to do is to invite, some of you guys down to actually see for yourself. In the past 1 year, things have really changed in Ekiti. Seriously, like, just come up with any good idea. The government wants it. And it has encouraged lots of youths that have this creativity in them to come up with so many ideas that are actually now working. Right now, the one I just mentioned, the JKF Youth Cup, is receiving a whole lot of noise, already. But the thing there is, to say it is not as good as for you to see it. Right. So it's actually when you see it, that is when you can actually, understand what we are enjoying in Ekiti right now.
Okay, let me also ask you, because I know a lot of states that have the support of the state government. Before they start setting targets, they want one of their teams to be in the top flight. So is there any plan like that anytime soon? Maybe a 3-year plan, 2-year plan, or an ambitious 1-year plan to get one of the teams in the top flight?
Our own priority in Ekiti Football Association right now is the target we set for ourselves, and that is to create a football culture. If we don't have a football culture, you play in the Premiership and you have
next year you have
100 people watching the game. So what is that? So if you create a football culture, then you'll be able to carry the community along. And when you go into community sports, that is when you can talk about professionalism. So I'm sorry, but in my own opinion, I don't think we have enough professional football clubs in the land yet. So there's nothing the state needs to rush into.
They're not in a rush.
No. Our own priority right now is to ensure that we have the culture. We want Ekiti football to be, there's something that is quite interesting. Is that there's almost no population in Ekiti land, but we have about 4 million people. And out of these 4 million people, I tell you that about 52% actually falls into that range of youths. So if you have 52% of 4 million persons that are associating in a sector, do you still honestly think that you don't have enough to tap into in that area? So if we're able to target about 10,000 persons, doing football, if you just buy a replica jersey at maybe 2,000 times 10,000, you don't really need to keep collecting money from the government to run football. If everybody feels like Ayomikposi is the guy that actually was the highest goal scorer in the Channels Kids Cup, Channels International Kids Cup. You guys gave him money, gave him a whole lot of things. I tell you, with the system we have right now, in about 4 or 5 years, Mikposi is going to mature. And his parents and friends will actually want to come see him play. So he's going to have a jersey, hopefully jersey number 9, because it's our own Ezra Ekini. Yeah. So you can see more than 5,000 persons putting on, Mikposi's jersey. They will want to see him play because they've seen this guy from when he was 13. Yeah. So when we are able to have lots of persons associating with Ekiti football, that is when we can now say, yes, let's, take it into the professional level. So right now, in the first 4 years, to us, it's all about building the culture.
All right. So what personal targets have you guys, you know what, we need to go on a break. Let me just keep you for a while. We'll go on a break now. When we return from that break, we'll wrap up our discussion with the Ekiti State FA chairman. And of course, we'll continue with what we have for you on Sports Tonight. Join us again. All right, welcome back. Let's continue from where we left it off. We still have the Ekiti FA chairman with us, Bayo Olanlege, and he's telling us a whole lot of things of all the developments in Ekiti. All right, Bayo, let me just ask you this as we prepare to wrap up this discussion on Ekiti, the football in Ekiti. Do you have personal targets that you have set for yourselves? You've just told me that, look, we're in no rush to get a team into the top flight, which is what most people try to do. But what are your own personal, since you're not moving in that direction, what are your own personal targets for Ekiti FA?
Just like that. Simple. If, by God's grace, myself and my team can make half of the 50% of the 4 million to know what Ekiti football is, I would have been satisfied. And if I'm able to make a successor out of myself, this syndrome of I die there, I don't want that to be part of what I, do.
So you have no intention to be there for
No, I don't
12
want to
years,
die.
16
No,
years?
I don't want to die there. So if I can, help the system to grow, then be able to bring somebody to stabilize it, I'll be happy.
Okay, okay. All right. I'm curious, though, as you leave, you've painted a picture of, where everything is calm, there's peace. And I'm tempted to ask you, I don't know, people, have probably, 5 months into your administration, I don't know people who are saying, no, this guy should not be there. I'm supposed to be the one there, as it is usual with a lot of FAs. Do you have that from your hand as well?
Yes, it's everywhere. If the position of the FA chairman, it gives you opportunity, and it depends on how you leverage on the opportunity. And lots of people also have the idea that I have something I want to offer.
I can do better than this guy.
So if it's not something that is good, then nobody will want to fight for it. But if it's something that is as good as it is right now, then lots of people will want to fight for it. And yes, we have lots of people still fighting that you don't have any right to be there. And there will be lots of reasons and a lot of shenanigans, but those are just side attractions. It makes it more fun. Right. If you look at what the governor, His Excellency, is doing, don't you think that lots of people, trying but come to Ekiti and see what he has created. The governor has created this environment that makes everybody want to function. Right. And that is what excites us. So the side attraction is just what it is, side attraction.
Okay. Payola, I want to thank you for your time on the show. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very
everything
much.
you try to do. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. We thank you. We appreciate it. All right. So let's move on the show tonight. Let's quickly take you to Imo State. Let's talk about what the Imo State Football Association is doing. They've unveiled a Super League football tournament with the team Take Them From the Street. The tournament is a grassroots football competition aimed at keeping unemployed youths off the streets by encouraging them in football and transforming the lives of the youths, especially in the rural area, and produce the next football stars. All right, so let's just quickly take you to Imo State, allow you to listen to the key stakeholders. We'll be back for more on Sports Tonight.
For some of you that are ready before this time, we have a lot of school or pupils or even children roaming about it. No employment is a known thing in the whole federation. But with this for the past 1 week now, every nook and cranny of Imo State is very active. People practicing, playing football, getting themselves ready for this tournament, thereby depriving them from wasting their time in certain behaviors that are negative.
They want to empower. They're interested in empowering our youths. And any government in any part of the world must talk about the empowerment of the youth. Like I always say on my program, radio, television, everybody cannot be PhD physics, PhD mathematics. Some people have their PhD with their legs. And that is where football falls into. Today, the population of the world is 7.8 billion. And it is believed that 1.5 billion of the world population is getting in the football industry. So if they're able to empower them, they're empowering so many people. It's a chain reaction. If you feed somebody with a fish, they'll feed for that day. But if you teach that person how to feed, it will be all the days of his life.
All right, welcome back. And we've listened to those critical stakeholders from Imo State talking about the ambitious plan to that has the team take them from the streets. That's what's happening in Imo State right now. And hopefully everything they plan to do will go on well. There'll be 74 competitive matches played in total during the tournament, comprising of 60 preliminary matches, 8 quarterfinal matches, 4 semi-final matches, third place, and the grand finale. The organizers say the tournament will kick off on Sunday, October 27. That's this Sunday. All right. So we'll see what happens, and all the best. We always love to see all those things happen. And if everyone continues to do their part, trust me, football will develop in this country. Well, we've made a switch. Bayo Olanlege has left, but Alfred Okoligbe joins us now as we take a look at what is happening here on the domestic scene. Of course, we'll leave football and go to basketball, maybe return to football later. But Alfred Okoligbe, it's nice to have you join us. You did a lot to be here. I know you did a lot to be here, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, and it's good to have you join us.
Excited as ever. What an evening it is, and of course, we know we're looking forward. It's a weekend of so many
Loaded.
It's a loaded weekend. From the national perspective of the national team, the under-17 will kick off the World Cup, under-17 World Cup. Then we have this grudge game at the KG Stadium in Lomé, Rangers versus ASC Car. And that game will come up on Sunday, 4 p.m. in Lomé, 5 p.m. in Nigeria. Of course, the little matter of Enyimba International against a second division team in South Africa to see if the possibility of two Nigerian teams making it to the group stage of the CAF Champions. It's a playoffs, and this is the first leg. And so, that extent, it's a loaded. I'm sure it's one weekend that maybe you're at an event, but your eyes will be fixed on your phone to get the latest call line from.
Yeah.
Latest call line from the updates from
And even
whatever
if
is happening.
Even if you're at home, you're seeing a particular game, your hands on your phone, you want to see what's happening. I mean, just take your eyes off, you miss a lot. So it's a loaded weekend, and also throw in what's going to be happening in the big leagues, that as well. But let's leave football. Let's start with basketball, and let's talk about day 5 results in the NBBF Men's President's Cup. Let's quickly start with that, and get Alfred's take on some of the results. Day 5 results coming up on your screen. We have Police Baton losing to Benue Braves, 68 points to 72. You have Ekiti Invaders losing to Kwara Falcons, 61 to 68. You also have Rivers Upas, 93 points to 54. They beat Army Rockets in that one. Raptors lost to Civil Defenders, 47 to 72. Lagos Islanders defeated Ondo Raiders. In fact, Ondo Raiders were raided in that game, 77 to 32. Then you have a very close game, but there had to be just one winner. Coal City Miners up against Niger Porters, 83 to 89 in favor of Niger Porters. Those are the results from day 5. Alfred, let me get your thoughts. We found a way to get basketball going, even though not the way we all wanted it, but at least we're seeing the guys in action.
What do you mean by not the way we wanted it? Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. But at least we have this.
See, whether you like it or not, ultimately it is the players that matters.
Yes.
All of the issues outside the court might, to individuals, be, it's all about power play and, trying to, gain advantage and the rest of them. But it's the players that matter at the end of the day.
Key actors.
If the players, now, if there's a competition that was okay, the NBA is putting money into, of course, FIBA is supporting that project for next year. That it's something very close to the UEFA champion in terms of earnings. Money spinning competition. Nigeria has to present 2 teams for this competition. Hey, something has to happen for us to have a team in that competition. So all of the things, the teams that didn't show up in this one, sorry, you have to watch it on TV. Winners will emerge. That competition will be played, and they go for that competition. And so, to that extent, I think these are exciting times for basketball players. It's nice to see. Usually, where you don't get teams come from, the team from Enugu, Benue Braves, we used to have very strong team from that axis. At this time, Benue Braves, see 1 or 2 teams, Ekiti, 2 showing up. So you see 1 or 2 franchises just coming up I think it can only get better. So these are really exciting times if you're a basketball buff or if you follow the sport. Thank God all of the things that have happened in the past that have slowed us down in this respect have been taken care of. Somehow we found a way around it.
Yeah.
But the game must continue, and that's all that counts.
All right. So I agree with you, Alfred. The game must continue, and it's good that we're having those matches, and hopefully that will give the administrators time to sort themselves out and not allow the players miss out on anything because of the squabbles. All right, let's quickly go to England and take something before we continue. This might surprise a lot of people. Southampton and Leicester. I'm looking at the result and I'm thinking, what's happening right here? But there you have it, Southampton. Alfred, it's been a long time I've seen a scoreline like this, and it's not even over yet. Leicester hitting Southampton 7 goals. 7.
Wow, this is it's something. This Leicester team has shown that they're a good side. Ndidi, thank God that Wilfred Ndidi is in that team and is showing what he can do. Some people came up with statistics. They allowed Maguire go. See where they are. In fact, they are even a better team. They are a better team now. I think these have done them a whole lot of good. For Southampton, this scoreline should trouble their fans, trouble the entire team, because how do you defend this? You know, you're putting on the colours of a club. So you're beating 7-0 at home. Hey, how do you face your fans and the rest of them?
There's really no
this like
at this level, you shouldn't lose this way.
Somebody will just have to take the plunge in this. I mean, if they want to just react immediately to this result,
maybe the manager,
or maybe 1 or 2 announcements here and there, because it's indefensible to beat
and it could get
lose
worse.
At home.
It could get worse. Still just about 80 minutes played. Who knows what's going to happen in the last 10 minutes? Or we'll see. Shocking result from there. But trust us to let you know if the goals increased, or maybe Southampton will salvage something, which I don't think is going to happen anyway. But we'll see. So let's move on from there. Let's quickly come back here and talk about the CAF Confederation Cup. Alfred hinted about it a while ago. Final round of the qualifiers to get into that group stage of the CAF Confederation Cup. Alfred has already laid it out. So let's see it. One of our teams will travel out. One will be at home. Eimba, the Aba Elephants up against a Division 2 side, not a PSL side, TS Galaxy. Then you have AS Kara up against Rangers. For Rangers, I'm very happy they're playing the first leg away.
Does it make any difference?
To me, it does, because sometimes Nigerian teams don't take the opportunity when they play the first leg at home, and somehow they just. For Eimba, I don't really worry about most of the time. I don't worry about
the Super Eagles in Champ qualifiers played away first.
That's the only exception. That's the only exception. But Alfred, your take on these games? I think I'll partially close my eyes for. I'll go to sleep on Eimba. For Rangers, I don't know.
I look at the team, TS Galaxy. Yes, they play in the lower leagues in South Africa, in the second division in South Africa. Their last game, they came from behind and pulled off a 3-0 draw. Before that, they also came from behind. It just shows you a team that plays to the last, to the final whistle.
Keep fighting.
They keep fighting. So I think it's something that they have playing at the back of their mind. Yes, you can just dismiss it to say, okay, it's a second division team. But for a team to have gone up to win, where the likes of more illustrious opponents like Sundowns, Chiefs and Pirates and the rest of them United. In South Africa, they went on to win the cup in South Africa. You just don't take them lightly, and that's why for Eimba, I like the words coming from the manager, Coach Abdallah of Eimba. He said, I mean, these guys play in a competition with the big boys in the PSL, and they won that competition. So to that extent, give them the respect that they deserve. I think Eimba know that they have a lot writing on this game. They've been knocked out of the Champions League. I mean, it will be unthinkable to think that they won't make it to the group stage of the second-tier competition in CAF. And so they have their work cut out for them. They play first in Aba, and hopefully they'll get the result that they need on the road.
All right. Let's talk about Rangers. Your take. To me, I think it's a bit more easier for Eimba, but football sometimes, that's why it's called a funny old game.
I think for not being easy, I think for the two Nigerian teams, we have to worry. The league has not kicked off here. You play against a team that have been playing week in, week out. AS Kara has the extra advantage of having their players play for the national team. About 8 of them in the Togolese national team that stopped us from qualifying for CHAN. That means that they've been playing regularly. For us, what have we been playing? Friendly games against academies, one or two preseason tournaments. And indeed, in fact, the teams playing on the continent didn't even take part in most of these preseason tournaments that they were happening. So it's just friendlies here and there. You expect, they will tell you that, oh, they've been playing friendly games, but you know that when it comes to friendly games, that competitive edge is not just there because it's what is called friendly games, and so they will be tested to their limits. Thank God, like you said, that the first leg is on the road. Between then and the league would have kicked off, but even they won't even still play because you have just 1 week to play the reverse fixture in this game.
All right, so wishing Nigerian teams on the continent the best. Hopefully, we'll at the end of these fixtures, we'll have 2 in 2, not 1 out of 2, or not 0 out of 2, hopefully, because it matters for Nigeria that these 2 teams do well and keep our slots in both competitions, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's talk about what's going to happen in Brazil tomorrow. Talking about the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Of course, FIFA Under-17 World Cup, many fond memories, Alfred, of... even though I don't consider myself old, I've been privileged to see all the moments that probably 85. I can't remember much about 85. Maybe I saw the clips later. But every other tournament, 93, 2007, 2013, 2015, I saw it. And it always gladdens my heart, even though it's at 8th grade level, that Nigeria can rule the world. So every under-17 team that wants to represent Nigeria goes into any tournament without pressure. I don't know if you agree with me, but they go into that tournament because a lot of people believe you can win this tournament.
And the players know that they've had big stars who, players who have come to rule football in Nigeria pass through this competition. So it's an opportunity that has been given to them. And at that level, you don't expect the level of competition. Yes, it's high, but you expect that at that level we can really knock our game. How to take it from that under-17 level to a higher level is
the problem
problem that we have. And we know that sometimes it's coaching, it's Saturdays, so many
administration,
so many factors. No, so many factors militating against the progress of our players. But at the under-17 level, when these talents are raw, we know we can really play some good football. And hopefully, this will not be different from what we've had in the past. I've heard 1 or 2 people say the result does not matter to them. Whether we win it or not is immaterial. But they just want to see these guys give us good football, give us hope that we can have the next Kano Nwankwo, the next Dimeji Lawal, the next, is it Osimhen now? Or... I almost said the Kelechi.
Well, you still have to. You still have to.
No, players who will just give you that hope, enjoy that. Okay,
because it might turn it around later on. So
yes. Perhaps maybe 1 or 2. He needs just 1 or 2 moves.
But we must commend the FA. What is happening in the Super Eagles now? You can trace it back to the good work that has been done maybe 7, 8 years ago. We have boys from the 2013 team. One from the 2015 team, and a lot of them are in the Super Eagles. And like you said last week, if we can still see any of these boys 10, 11, 12 years after this tournament, whether or not they win in Brazil,
it's immaterial.
It's success.
Because that's where it all starts, and we need to give these guys the opportunity. We're giving them the platform. We have to make them understand that you've had trailblazers in time past. They just put in their foot where these guys, walk past in time past. So they just have to give in their very best. And to that extent, I'm excited about the competition. I'm looking forward to the Wisdom Ubanis of this world, the Amaos. Already their names are beginning to come up there. They will be noticed the more. And of course, opportunities like this, 1 or 2 signings, and it might just be something that we'll talk about for a long time.
All right. These are the fixtures. I guess we just go on a break. We'll come back and still talk about these fixtures. There you have it, what's going to happen tomorrow. So let's just quickly go on a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the fixtures and we'll look at some of the other things happening in your amazing world of sports. Join us again. All right, welcome back. Let's just quickly take you back to England and talk about, it's unbelievable, really. I mean, I just can't believe this. 8-0, Leicester, Southampton. I think somebody's sack papers is already signed. They might just get it after the game. 8-0, James Maddison scoring again for the Foxes, making it 8. Jose Perez already on a hat trick. Jamie Vardy has scored 2. And Yuri Tillemans as well also on the score sheet. So very interesting the way it's turning out for Leicester and Southampton. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Something tells me heads will roll. Match day 10, Leicester hitting Southampton by 8 goals. And just a few minutes to the end of the game. Last time I checked, 89 minutes. So I guess, like you said, the players will just want to walk off the pitch. We'll be begging the referee not to add minutes.
No need for that time. Let's leave the pitch because this is going to be like a horror show for the players. Nobody wants to see this kind of and to think that you're playing before your fans,
in front of your crowd.
A lot of commitments will be called to question. A lot of look at the team again. Southampton has always been a selling club. Some of their more illustrious players have ended up in either Liverpool or Arsenal, when Arsenal used to buy from there. So I think they'll look inwards and perhaps get one or two players. January is just it's still a
by the corner.
It's still a long way off. It's
still a long way off.
I think for Leicester, this will do their good difference a whole lot of good.
Yeah.
8 goals. When you have the opportunity, just keep scoring. Because at the end of the day, he has a way of, when it gets to head-to-head, or when it gets to, if there are tied, the placements, if there are tied, you look at the goal difference, and I think it's all good.
All right. It's good for morale for Leicester, not so good for Southampton. All right, let's continue talking about the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Let's just take a look at those fixtures. What's going to happen with Nigeria tomorrow, the host Brazil also in action as well. Nigeria up against Hungary, Ecuador up against Australia, Brazil up against Canada, New Zealand up against Africa's other representative, Angola. Alfred, let me allow you to call these games. It's hard to call, really. It's age grade.
Not seen them play.
You've not seen them play. You don't really know much about them. But for sentimental reasons, you always want to win for Nigeria.
Yeah, and for Nigeria, I find it easier playing against European opposition.
It's easy, even at senior level.
Even at senior level, it's easy. When it's against
South Americans.
Yeah. Then it becomes it's as if we're learning how to play football.
Because they have a lot of tricks.
Yes, they have a lot of. I think for sentimental reasons, for Nigeria, easier to play Europeans, and it's good. It's the first game. What a win in your first game does is that it gives you confidence.
You're not playing under pressure.
You are not playing under pressure. It helps, going forward. It gives that feel-good feeling in the squad, and it helps them to really show that they can play football. So hopefully win under the belt to just help the team.
And also our African brothers, Angola, hopefully. New Zealand, not particularly strong football playing nation. So maybe they might just be able to do something.
Just like you said, we've not seen these guys play. Whether they are football side or not, this is a developmental program. At 17, more often than not, they almost at the same level. They form at the senior level. Sometimes does not apply at this level. So we expect that these guys will come out and play football. And in Japan, Netherlands, the next round of games
Sunday, yeah,
Sunday.
France and Chile, United States and Senegal, Japan and Netherlands. Haiti up against South Korea. Always very difficult to call. But you think maybe our African brothers against Senegal, they've been doing a lot for age grade.
In terms of development,
yeah. So
they've been doing a lot. And you see their players, sometimes you look at the clubs where the players come from, the kind of development that they've given to these guys. You know that the Senegalese football is on a high. They've not won the Nations Cup yet, hopefully. When we would have completed our 5 Nations Cup, maybe they'll win, maybe we won't.
Okay. Alfred, I want to thank you for your time on the show. I thought we had time, but we got to go. Yes. Alfred, it's good having you today.
Always a delight.
Hopefully we'll do this again next week.
By His grace.
All right. A lot of big games to look forward to over the weekend, but we can't do that now. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoy doing this. We'll be back next week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.